Welcome to Legends and Lessons. Today, we dive into the mystery of D.B. Cooper, one of history's greatest unsolved heists. On November 24, 1971, a Northwest Orient Airlines flight took off from Portland, America. It was supposed to be a short, 30-minute flight to Seattle, with just 36 passengers and 6 crew members on board. But little did they know, a hijacker was hiding among them, a man named D.B. Cooper? Cooper looked just like any normal businessman, dressed in a suit, white shirt, black pants, and probably in his mid-40s. He deliberately sat in the last row of the plane, seat 18E. As soon as the plane took off, he handed air hostess Florence Schaffner a note. At first, she thought he was just trying to flirt, and she put the note away without reading it. But Cooper insisted she had to read it, because he had a bomb. When Schaffner opened the note, it read clearly, "Miss, I have a bomb in my briefcase, and I want you to sit next to me." Shocked, but staying calm, Schaffner sat beside him. Cooper opened his briefcase, revealing red cylinders, wires, and a large cylindrical battery. It was unmistakably a bomb. Cooper then made his demands: $200,000 in cash, 2 parachutes, and a fuel truck to refuel the plane when it landed. He also threatened to blow up the plane if she tried anything funny. While the passengers were still completely unaware, Schaffner discreetly went to the cockpit to show the pilots Cooper's note. Air hostess Tina Mucklow took over and sat next to Cooper to keep communication open between him and the cockpit. The pilots quickly informed the air traffic controller, and soon, the president of the airline, Donald Narob, made an important decision: comply with Cooper's demands. They didn't want the story leaking out and ruining the airline's reputation, so they instructed the staff to cooperate fully. The bank was ready with the cash, but there's a twist that we'll get to later. Meanwhile, the pilots were told to keep the plane circling above Seattle. They needed enough time to prepare the money. What was supposed to be a 30-minute flight soon turned into a 3-hour ordeal. Passengers were told there were minor technical difficulties, and they believed it. Finally, the plane landed in Seattle at 5:46 p.m., where Cooper received the cash, the parachutes, and the fuel truck. The passengers and flight attendants were allowed to leave, except for Mucklow, who stayed with Cooper. The plane was refueled and took off again. This time, it was just the pilots, Cooper, and Mucklow on board. Cooper ordered the pilots to fly towards Mexico City at 10,000 feet, as slowly as possible. The pilots warned that they would burn through their fuel reserves, but Cooper insisted. And here's where it gets incredible. Cooper instructed Mucklow to lock herself in the cockpit. As soon as she did, he opened the rear staircase and jumped out of the plane, with the money and parachutes in hand. The pilots didn't even see him leave. At 8:13 p.m., the plane's rear tilted upwards, a clear sign that the stairs had been deployed. They adjusted the flight. When the plane landed in Reno, Nevada, the police were notified, but there was no sign of Cooper. All they found were a tie clip, and cigarette butts. Remember, smoking was still allowed on planes back then. The FBI jumped into action immediately, but despite finding 66 unidentified fingerprints, Cooper was gone. The investigation lasted for 45 years, officially closing in 2016. But the questions still remain: who was D.B. Cooper? Did he survive the jump? And was the money ever found? One fascinating aspect of this hijacking is that no one was hurt. Cooper's calm demeanor and Mucklow's cool-headedness prevented panic and kept everyone safe. Mucklow is often called the hero for how she handled the situation. And did you know that the hijacker's name was originally Dan Cooper? But due to a reporter's mistake, he became D.B. Cooper, and that name stuck. The FBI believed Cooper jumped with about 10 kilos of cash strapped to him. Despite the dangerous conditions, a nighttime jump from 10,000 feet into a cold, dark, and forested area, some people still believe he survived. Many hijackers who copied Cooper's style did survive their jumps, so could Cooper have made it too? The FBI focused their search on the southwest area of Washington state, where Cooper was thought to have jumped. But despite extensive investigations, Including underwater searches, nothing was found, except for a small amount of money discovered by an 8-year-old boy on the Columbia River. The serial numbers matched the ransom money, but the rest of the cash? Never found. In 1979, a pilot named Tom Bowen, who had been flying near Cooper's plane during the hijacking, came forward with a theory. He believed Cooper landed near the Washougal River. Months later, more of Cooper's money was found in the area, but still, no body or further clues. Theories about Cooper's identity continue to swirl. Some investigators believed he was a cargo loader in the Air Force. Based on his knowledge of parachutes and airplanes, the FBI investigated over 800 suspects, but none could be conclusively linked to the hijacker. One of the most intriguing suspects was Richard McCoy, a Vietnam War veteran who hijacked a plane using very similar tactics just months after Cooper. McCoy was arrested, but the FBI ruled him out as Cooper. Another suspect was Robert Rackstraw, a man with a criminal past, but no evidence has ever connected him to the hijacking. And so, the mystery of D.B. Cooper remains unsolved, one of the greatest enigmas in FBI history. Who was he? Did he survive? What happened to him, and the rest of the money? These questions may never be answered, but D.B. Cooper's story continues to captivate people around the world. Thanks for watching Legends and Lessons. Like, share, and subscribe for more mysteries. See you next time.